The massacre at Zephyr 6. When humans get angry, the entire galaxy trembles. Randy Bell, a rugged soldier, stands over the mangled corpses of human colonists, his fists clenched tight, eyes narrowed with laser focus on a single goal: vengeance. The distant Xantine outpost of Zephyr 6 was supposed to be a new start for the massacred settlers, slaughtered by the ruthless General Yuko and his alien forces. But their dreams turned into blood-soaked nightmares. Discovery of the massacre. Examining the grisly scene, Bell notices something strange. Evidence pointing to a calculated extermination, not just another skirmish in the tense conflict between species. The colonists never stood a chance. Righteous fury surges through Bell's veins as he whips around to face his squad of elite human commandos, his voice low and seething. This will not stand. The Xantine went too far this time. It's up to us to make this right. We're going to take the fight to them and make them pay for spilling human blood. Rallying the commandos, his soldiers nod grimly. They're the best of the best, battle-hardened, cunning, and strong. But even they feel a chill down their spines at the pure rage emanating from Bell. They almost pity the Xantine. Almost. As the squad double-times it back to their ship to plan the counterattack, Bell's mind races. This wasn't just a strike against helpless civilians. It was a message. The Xantine clearly thought they could butcher humans without consequence. Yuko must have thought his species superior. He thought wrong. Preparing for counterattack. The galaxy was about to learn what happens when you murder innocent humans, when you piss off mankind's best, when you dare to believe you can win against the sheer unstoppable force of the human spirit. Bell would make sure the humans' response echoed across the stars like a supernova. This was no longer about just one colony. The fate of humanity itself hung in the balance. Submit to alien tyranny or rise up and fight for their right to exist. Bell's determination. Bell knew which choice he would make, which choice humanity would make. And heaven helped the Xantine when the humans descended on them in a storm of vengeance, determined to carve out mankind's place in the cosmos, no matter how many alien corpses they had to climb over to do it. Back on the ship, the adrenaline rush fading, Bell scrutinizes the stolen star map with a mixture of hope and apprehension. The mysterious coordinates beckon, tantalizing in their promise of answers and advantage. But the path ahead is fraught with danger. Gathering intel. Ramirez, Chen, get over here, Bell barks. We need to figure out our next move. The demolitions expert and tech specialist huddle around the glowing display, their faces illuminated by the ancient alien script. Chen's brow furrows as he works to decipher the intricate symbols. I've never seen anything like this, Chen mutters. But if I'm reading it right, this map points to a hidden system. A planet the Xantine believe holds immense power. A new hope. Ramirez lets out a low whistle. A secret weapon. Something to turn the tide of war in their favor. Bell's heart races as he traces a finger along the cryptic star paths. Whatever it is, we can't let Yuko or his goons get their claws on it. We need to rally the fleet, mount a full-scale offensive. The ship hums with renewed purpose as they race through the void towards human-controlled space. In the medbay, medics patch up the wounded, stitching gashes and setting bones. The air crackles with a sense of urgency, a knowledge that time is running out. Call to arms. Bell strides onto the bridge, the star map gripped tight, his eyes blazing with the fire of a man possessed by a mission. Get me a direct line to Admiral Hawkins. We need tow. Alarms blare, cutting him off. The sensor officer pales as she scans her display. Sir, we've got a bogey on our tail. Xantine's signature. Cloaked. Bell curses under his breath. He should have known it wouldn't be that easy. Yuko was too clever, too determined to let his prize slip away without a fight. Evasive maneuvers, he snaps to the helmsman. To the weapons officer. Spin up the point defenses. If they so much as twitch, light them up. The chase begins. The ship veers and banks as the crew scrambles to action stations. In the corridors, Marines strap on armor and check their weapons, prepping for a potential boarding action. Bell's eyes never leave the star map. So close. They're so damn close to turning the tide, to ensuring humanity's place among the stars. Like hell, he'll let the Xantine stop them now. His fingers tighten around the hilt of his combat knife, fist clenched. Yuko's broken body flashes through his mind, the taste of victory fresh. Let them come, he thinks grimly. We'll be ready. And this time, we're playing for keeps. The ambush. The ship hurtles onward, engines straining, desperate to reach the safety of human space before the Xantine hunter can catch its wounded prey. In the shadows of the void, the chess pieces shift, the great galactic game poised on the edge of a knife. The battle for humanity's future has only just begun. The first strike. The ship lurches violently, throwing Bell against the bulkhead. Alarms blare as the Xantine ambush unfolds. Plasma torpedoes incoming, the sensor officer shouts. Bell grips the command console. Evasive action. Return fire. But it's too late. The first volley slams into their engines, rocking the ship. Sparks shower from ruptured conduits as system after system goes dark. Desperation and resolve. We've lost main power, Chen calls out. Auxiliary engines failing. Bell's mind races. They couldn't die here, not with the precious star map in their possession. All hands, brace for impact. We're going in hard. The ship plummets toward a desolate moon below, trailing fire and debris. Bell clenches his teeth as they hit the atmosphere, the hull screaming in protest. With a bone-jarring crunch, they slam into the rocky surface and skid to a halt. Fortifying their position, coughing through the acrid smoke, Bell pulls himself to his feet. Sound off. Who's still alive? One by one, his squad reports in, bruised and bloody but alive. For now, Ramirez says, examining a sparking control panel. We're not getting off this rock under our own power. Bell nods grimly. Xantine will be on us soon. We need to dig in, make our stand. His eyes fall on a jagged opening in the moon's surface nearby. There those lava tubes. Move it, people. The fight for survival. They scramble to salvage what they can from the wreckage. Weapons, medical supplies, rations. Every second counts as they fortify their position in the winding tunnels. Bell's mind races. How had the Xantine found them so quickly? And Yuko, was the bastard still alive? His questions are answered as the first assault wave hits. Plasma bolts sizzle through the air as Xantine troops swarm the entrance. And there, at their head, stands the scared visage of General Yuko himself. Holding the line. Hold the line. Bell roars, laying down suppressing fire. Make these tunnels their grave. Ramirez's traps claim the first victims, minds shredding alien flesh. Chen's hacked battle network has the Xantine shooting at shadows. But still, they come, driven by Yuko's relentless hatred. Hours blur together in a haze of gunfire and screams. Bell's arms ache from recoil, his lungs burn from toxic fumes. They're being pushed back, inch by bloody inch. A desperate plan. Running low on ammo, sir, Chen calls out between bursts of his rifle. Medical supplies almost gone. Bell curses. They need a miracle. Then it hits him. An audacious attempt, but their only shot. Chen, broadcast our location on all channels. Someone has to hear us. The tech specialist's eyes widen. Sir, that'll bring every Xantine ship in the sector down on our heads. Do it. It's our only chance. Chen nods and gets to work. Moments later, their distress call echoes into the void. The response is immediate. The Xantine attacks redouble. Yuko howling for their blood. This is it. Their final stand. Bell meets the alien general's eyes across the battlefield. All the hatred, all the pain of lost comrades. It all comes down to this moment. The final stand. With a primal roar, Bell charges. Yuko meets him halfway, their weapons clashing in a shower of sparks. Around them, Human and Xantine forces collide in a maelstrom of violence. Bleeding from a dozen wounds, Bell fights with everything he has left. For Earth, for humanity's future. He won't let Yuko win. The cavern shakes, cracks spider webbing across the ceiling. With a deafening roar, the lava tube begins to collapse. Fall back. Bell screams to his squad. But it's too late. Tons of rock come crashing down, burying friend and foe alike in darkness. Bell's last thought before unconsciousness takes him is of the star map clutched tight in his fist. He can't let go. Not now. Not ever. Rescue and recovery. An eternity later, Bell claws his way back to awareness. Voices, human voices, and the whine of plasma cutters. We found survivors. Get a medical team down here, stat. Light floods and his rubble is cleared away. Bell squints, barely able to believe his eyes. Marine uniforms, a fleet battle group insignia. About damn time. He croaks as they pull him free. His squad, the map, they'd made it. Somehow, in a seemingly impossible way, they'd survived. But Bell knows this is just the beginning. The real fight, the race to uncover the map's secrets, is only just starting. The pursuit, the Intrepid sputtered through space, its hull scorched and engines sputtering. Randy gripped the command chair as they limped towards the human fleet's rendezvous point. Comms are back online, sir, Chen reported. Fleet command is hailing us. Randy nodded, his teeth gritted. Put them through. Reporting in. Admiral Hawkins' grizzled face appeared on the screen. Bell, what the hell happened out there? Xantine ambushed us. Sir, we got lucky. Randy held up the star map. But we found something. Something big. Planning the counterattack. Hours later, Randy stood before the assembled fleet command, the alien artifact projected behind him. This map points to a power source beyond our comprehension. If the Xantine get their hands on it first, it's game over for humanity. Heated arguments erupted among the brass. Some called it a wild goose chase. Others demanded immediate action. Enough. Admiral Hawkins smacked his palm on the table. We can't afford to ignore this. Mobilize the fleet. We leave in 48 hours. Preparing for war. The next 2 days were a whirlwind of activity. Warships were readied, marine transports loaded. Randy found himself thrust into the role of expedition guide, poring over the star map with navigation officers as the massive human armada prepared to jump. Randy addressed the troops. What we find at the end of this map could decide the fate of our species. Stay frosty out there. Their journey took them through uncharted space. Radioactive clouds of stellar gas swirled around them, their sensors nearly useless. They skirted the edge of a system with an unstable pulsar, its deadly beams of radiation lashing out at random. Navigating the unknown. Collision alert. A sensor officer shouted as they emerged from hyperspace into a dense asteroid field. Ships banked and weaved, but not all made it through unscathed. The Xantine found them 3 days later. A strike force of sleek alien vessels dropped out of warp, energy weapons blazing. Engaging the enemy. All ships, combat formation Delta. Admiral Hawkins barked. Give them hell. The battle raged for hours. Human ships exploded in silent bursts of fire, while Xantine vessels crumpled under sustained missile barrages. In the end, the aliens retreated, but the cost had been high. Scavenging for survival. Chen and his tech team worked tirelessly, scavenging Xantine wreckage to upgrade their own systems. We're closing the gap, he told Randy, dark circles under his eyes. Next time, we'll be ready. Weeks passed as the fleet pressed on, battered but unbroken. Finally, they emerged into an unremarkable star system. Probes are picking up a habitable planet, the science officer reported. And sir, there are artificial structures on the surface. Massive ones. First contact. Randy's heart raced as their shuttle broke atmosphere. Below them sprawled the ruins of a vast city, its towering spires reaching for the alien sky. My God, Ramirez whispered as they touched down. Who built this place? They picked their way through crumbling streets, marveling at incomprehensible machines and eerie artifacts. At the city's heart, they found it, a pulsing nexus of energy, dormant but not dead. The discovery. This is it, Randy breathed, reaching out to touch the control panel. This could change everything. Alarms blared. Chen's eyes widened as he checked his scanner. Sir, multiple Xantane signatures entering the system. Randy's blood ran cold. He keyed his comm. All units, battle stations. This is what we came for, people. Whatever happens, we hold this position. The final battle. The skies above the ancient city darkened as the Xantane armada emerged from warp, a swarm of sleek alien vessels jam-packed with weaponry. Randy's breath caught in his throat as he watched the feeds from orbit. All units, this is it, he barked into the comm. Dig in and prepare for heavy contact. The human fleet wasted no time. Rail guns roared to life, spitting hypervelocity slugs across the void. Plasma lances lashed out, searing alien hulls. But the Xantane returned fire with devastating effect. Ion cannons sliced through human ships, gutting them stem to stern. Defending the Nexus. On the ground, Randy felt the earth shake as dropships and gunships screamed overhead, disgorging waves of Marines and Army units. They swarmed over the Nexus ruins, setting up fortifications with practiced efficiency. Get those heavy weapons in place, Randy shouted, directing traffic from his command bunker. I want interlocking fields of fire covering every approach. The first Xantane landing craft punched through the atmosphere, disgorging Yuko's elite shock troops. Randy's blood ran cold as he saw the alien general himself leading the charge, his massive frame unmistakable even at a distance. Holding the line. All batteries, fire for effect. Randy ordered. Artillery shells arced overhead, pounding the Xantane landing zones. But still, they came. A tidal wave of chitinous bodies and plasma fire crashing against the human lines. Randy watched grimly as casualty reports flooded in. But his troops held firm, giving no ground. Ramirez's elaborate web of defenses exacted a brutal toll on the attackers. Mines detonated under alien feet, shredding them to bloody pulp. Remote charges collapsed tunnels and passageways, burying entire squads. Sentry turrets stitched lines of fire across no man's land, cutting down wave after wave. Breaking point. In the command bunker, Chen hunched over his console, fingers flying as he worked to crack the Nexus systems. Almost there, he muttered. Just need a little more time. Randy nodded, then grabbed his rifle. You've got it. I'm heading out. He led a company of Marines in a lightning counterattack, catching the Xantane off guard. They pushed deep into enemy lines, plasma and tracer fire crisscrossing the battlefield. Showdown with Yuko. And there he was, Yuko. The two locked eyes across the chaos, years of hatred crystallizing in an instant. Randy charged, dodging plasma bolts, and leaping over fallen debris. His combat knife flashed as he engaged the alien general in brutal close-quarters combat. For a moment, Randy thought he'd won. Yuko lay motionless, his alien blood pooling on the ground. But then the Xantane twitched, cybernetic implants whirring to life. He rose, more machine than living being, shrugging off Randy's attacks like they were nothing. Desperate measures. Randy fell back, calling for support as Yuko advanced inexorably. All seemed lost. Then the ground trembled. A shimmering energy field erupted from the earth, encasing every Xantane ground unit in a stasis bubble. Chen's voice crackled over the comm. Got it. Nexus defense is online. Turning the tide. Randy whooped in triumph, watching his team turn the full might of the Nexus against the orbiting Xantane fleet. Ship after ship disintegrated, reduced to their component atoms by the unimaginable energies unleashed. As the last enemy contact winked out, a ragged cheer went up from the human lines. They'd done it. They'd held the Nexus. Randy surveyed the hard-won battlefield, his mind already racing ahead to the larger conflict. This was just the beginning. He keyed his comm, issuing new orders to the fleet and ground forces. "We've got work to do, people," he announced. "Let's see what other secrets this Nexus is hiding." Secrets of the Nexus. Randy stood at the heart of the Nexus control room, surrounded by a hive of activity. Holographic displays flickered with streams of alien data as Chen and his team worked tirelessly to unlock the ancient facility's secrets. "We've isolated another subsystem, sir," Chen reported, his eyes red-rimmed from lack of sleep. "It's incredible. The Nexus can manipulate subspace fields on a scale we've never seen before. New technologies." Randy nodded, studying the intricate schematics. "Good work. Keep pushing. We need every advantage we can get." Over the next months, the research outpost buzzed with constant activity. Xenoarchaeologists meticulously catalogued artifacts while engineers reverse-engineered exotic technologies. Randy oversaw it all, driving his people hard, but always leading from the front. The power of innovation. In a reinforced testing chamber, Randy watched as a prototype gravitic shield effortlessly absorbed the blast from a tactical nuke. The shield bubble didn't even flicker. "Hot damn," Ramirez whispered, eyes wide behind his protective